Working. Been way up for a minute now. Hold up, it's been a minute. Wow, I've been way up. I can feel it now. Tell my family I'ma get
All right, people, you guys are watching and or listening to another Nomadic Cole video for your guys' entertainment and or education. Be sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, share, and of course subscribe for more epic, awesome, cool, funny, and interesting content just like this one right now, right here on the Nomadic Cole YouTube channel, because this shit is for your entertainment, people. That's right, people, this shit is for your entertainment. Guys, today I am bringing you guys the MAHA Liberty Report, inspired by the Ron Paul Liberty Report. And, well, we're going to be uncovering today, is America being made healthy again? How is our liberty doing? Is there peace and prosperity in the world? Well, today we're going to go over the good, the bad, the neutral, and the downright ugly, and the ups and downs that have happened over the last 100 days. In fact, now 100 plus days as of the recording of this video, that's been happening underneath the Donald Trump administration. Now, guys, let me get this started for you. Some people, well, actually, I should say most people on the left, they're not happy about this administration. And this is what the left thinks of this administration right now.
So, how's Kai been?
The FBI literally arrested 2 judges! And Trump isn't listening to the court! And he's getting rid of the DEI and immigrants! Like, guys, it's happening! The signs! The signs! I'm not even from the US! But this shit is getting out of hand!
And the Republicans, on the other hand, well, they're very happy with the administration so far. In fact, this is pretty much how they think the administration is going.
America demanded change.
Donald Trump wins the presidency.
And change is what we got. Under President Trump, America is stronger, safer, and more prosperous than ever before.
Best wage growth I think we've seen in almost a decade. Unemployment rate sinking to a 49-year low.
Unemployment for African Americans, it fell to a new low.
Unemployment for Hispanics hit an all-time record low.
And ladies and gentlemen, the best is yet to come. I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
But you won't find much of this here. You won't find much of that here. You see, because I'm just here to give you guys the fucking news. And I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to let you guys make up your own minds while giving you my opinion on these issues as well. For starters of this MAHA Liberty Report, we've got gain of function has officially been banned after research was done at the HHS department by RFK Jr. and Dr. J. Bhattacharya, and they brought up all this research to Donald Trump, the President of the United States of America, who then signed an executive order officially banning gain-of-function research. For those who don't know about gain-of-function research, this is essentially the research that turns in animal-driven virus and makes it more powerful so that way it can transfer to humans. This is exactly how we got the coronavirus in 2020 and the entire pandemic and outbreak that came from that. This is an objectively good thing. If anybody's defending this, and I'm sure the left will defend this, that somehow gain of function is somehow useful, I mean, they should know that Dr. J. Bhattacharya, RFK Jr., and many others have looked over the research extensively and found that it is actually providing really absolutely nothing of importance or value to us. And in fact, it's putting us at quite a bit of risk, for sure. So it is good that that has happened. Unfortunately, there are cons with doing this by way of executive order. I would much rather Congress go in there and actually make it law, because executive orders can easily be overturned by the next administration. Executive orders can be tied up by the courts, and if they aren't careful, and Donald Trump, by the way, has been signing about, hundreds and hundreds of executive orders for just about almost everything under the sun, from DEI all the way up to here gain of function. Well, if you do it that way, you leave the opportunity for the other side to go and reverse those decisions. However, good job to RFK Jr. and Dr. J. Bhattacharya and all the hardworking members at HHS for, at least for the time being, getting gain-of-function research banned. RFK Jr. has also selected Dr. Vinay Prasad to be the new vaccine manager for the FDA. Now, Dr. Vinay Prasad, for those who don't know, is he's actually a really accomplished doctor from University of Chicago. Dr. Vinay Prasad has been, let's just say, critical of the FDA's entanglements with the pharmaceutical industrial complex, and he wants to work with this administration to make America healthy again. So much applause to him for getting the job. Another good thing this HHS administration has been doing has been placebo-controlled testing for all future vaccines. As we know, some of the vaccines haven't gone through the most rigorous placebo-controlled testing. Double-blind placebo-controlled tests, by the way, that's how you do science, is you actually go and you take an actual medicine and you have to compare it to a placebo group to see what the difference is. And you have to study the effects of safety and efficacy for those drugs. So finally, we're getting a mandate from the HHS department to put placebo-controlled testing requirements on all upcoming vaccines. That is how the scientific method works. There should really be no opposition to that, but I wouldn't be surprised, Skip. I wouldn't be surprised. Next up on the list, we've got Dr. Casey Means has now been appointed as Surgeon General. Dr. Casey Means, for those who don't know, related to Callie Means, by the way. Dr. Casey Means is also another fighter for the MAHA movement, Make America Healthy Again. Dr. Casey Means, she's done tons and tons of research on this issue. She's all about fighting for healthier food, as well as medical freedom as well. And, it's good to have her on the team as well, now as your new Surgeon General. And then we also have got the Beagle experiments on dogs and beagles. That was part of gain-of-function research as well, by the way, has now officially been banned by Dr. J. Bhattacharya, who's recently been doing a lot of good work over there at the NIH. So no more beagle experiments at NIH. Dr. J. Bhattacharya has made it clear. There's an interview on Fox News, by the way, where he announced this. And I suggest you guys go watch it. I suggest you check it out. We've also got Florida has now become the second state to ban fluoride in water. There's some pros and cons with this. Well, for one, I've read the research that says that if taken in enough volume, that, fluoride can cause some adverse effects and reactions to specifically infants and pregnant mothers, especially after a certain amount. We also know that a lot of the fluoride in our water is actually industrial waste products. Now, I actually live in a state, it doesn't have fluoride banned, but we just don't put water in the fluoride, or we don't put fluoride in the water, I should say. We don't put fluoride in our water, mostly because most of our water is catchment tanks out here. But Florida, the second state to officially ban fluoride. You know, it might be good, especially if they have been putting industrial waste byproduct inside of water in Florida. On the other hand, maybe you see some more cavities, and that might be a little bit more money in the pockets of the dental industry. Next, we've got the bad and the ugly. To finish this off, for starters, Lee Zeldin and Andy Biggs want to dismantle OSHA. OSHA, if you guys don't know, is the Occupational Safety and Hazard Agency and Administration. They are the people who basically create the requirements for your job site to keep everything safe and clean and orderly in fashion. Now, granted, I do have some slight qualms with how far OSHA has gone to regulate. That doesn't mean the entire agency should be deregulated, because we know that when OSHA regulations at times have been ignored, there have been workplace casualties and damage and death to life and property. You know, there's a reason we have some of these regulations, especially regarding to workers' rights and the environmental safety, also regarding the general safety of the work site itself. We know that there are certain reasons that some of these regulations are put in place, and it just shouldn't be dismantled entirely. But unfortunately, Lee Zeldin and Andy Biggs, the congressman from Arizona, I guess they're not very big fans of OSHA, and they want to do away with that organization entirely. Next on the bad list, we've got the Narcan grant funding being cut by the Trump administration. Recently, there was around $50 million worth in grants to first responders available being cut by the Donald Trump administration. This is just a bad idea, especially considering how much fentanyl has affected all of our communities. Donald Trump talks a lot about fentanyl. He's talked a lot about it coming in through the border. He's talked about the gangs using fentanyl. He's talked about lives that have been taken by fentanyl. But why cut the Narcan grants that are going to save people's lives from fentanyl? You see, you can't just rely on deportations and maybe even finishing the wall at the border to do away with all the fentanyl, especially when at this point there's probably already people in the United States making the drug right now as we speak and putting it inside of all sorts of stuff. But, these grants are being taken away now. That means a lot of first responders aren't going to have this important tool that can save lives. I actually carry a Narcan on my person, and yeah, it's just very sad to see that they're trying to take away Narcan from first responders when there's plenty, and I mean plenty, of more wasteful things in the government, and especially more wasteful than Narcan for first responders, which is actually something that's important. So there's another qualm with the administration that I have. Next, we have Samoan commercial fishing has now been deregulated by the Trump administration. So a few Samoan people came over to the White House not too long ago, and they actually presented Donald Trump with the uifala. The reason being is that apparently the Samoans, they want their economy to be boosted, and to do so, they want to increase the ability to fish within their islands. There's one problem with that. The fishing that's going to be done by the islands that has been deregulated by Donald Trump, it's not sustenance fishing. It's not the fishing that they do. It's actually commercial fishing. It says that any U.S. flagged vessel will be allowed to commercially fish in Samoa, and specifically around protected reefs. And we know a lot about the damage that commercial fishing can do, especially bottom fishing with trolling nets that can absolutely dismantle and destroy coral reefs. It indiscriminately captures endangered and protected species on a regular basis and oftentimes kills them. So, you know, they may have been singing some Samoan songs to Donald Trump at the White House, but I don't think they'll be singing for very long. They might see some short-term economic growth, specifically regarding their fishing industries. But all these commercial fishing industries and fisheries from the mainland are going to come in and, well, essentially destroy their beautiful protected reefs, sadly. And lastly, just the other day, India and Pakistan are now at war. How does this affect American health? I'll tell you how it does. We've got two nuclear superpowers now at war with each other. Donald Trump said he was going to end the wars. He said he was going to end Russia and Ukraine on day one. He didn't get that done. There was a short ceasefire that was violated immediately by both sides. And they just went back to fighting. And they refused to talk still. And then we also had the temporary ceasefire for Israel and Gaza, and that was violated by Israel within 4 days. Now we've got a third war. Now we've got India and Pakistan at each other's necks. Once again, they've had for a while, a rivalry of sorts, but now they are at each other's throats, and both of them have nukes. Pakistan is threatening to use nukes, and if we get dragged into this, well, let's just say that's not going to be exactly great for American lives and health. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the MAHA Liberty Report. I am your host, Nomadic Cole. Thank you guys for tuning in. Goodbye.